All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Card Talk. I'm Ryan, joined as always by Tyler and Lou. A lot to get into on today's episode as we wrap up another season of Card Talk. What may be one of our final seasons, we'll get into that here momentarily. But we've got a lot to cover and a lot to look back on for everything that happened this year. But we're going to start with the usual. First things first, what's on your mind? Ty, we'll start with you today. What is on your mind, my friend?
Good morning. It's 9:56, Tuesday, December 19th. And what is on my mind was last night I went to bed and the Eagles were up 17-13 against the Seahawks. Drew Lock, who's known for like rapping on the sideline, was like in at quarterback. I think DK Metcalf had 2 catches at that time. And so I'm like, all right, let me snooze it out here. And I wake up to a huge game-winning drive that DK Metcalf put some action into and led me to knock Ryan out of the Card Talk fantasy playoffs by pretty much his final catch. I think it might have been his final catch. And now Ryan's doing the whole, didn't matter much anyways, but it mattered to me. On a little bit more of a serious note, Lou's right here, like next to me. There he is, down there.
I love how we got like the wine bottles here, and then Ryan right in the middle.
And then Ryan's in the middle. In some, I guess, somewhat sad news, but all's good. It is very likely that today will be the final episode of Card Talk, at least for the near future. This is the wrap-up of Season 4. I believe it is episode 170, says Bobby. 170 episodes in the books. 170
feels like close
hours.
To 180.
That might be more 180. There were a couple of sneak ones in there. Card Talk Live, Card Talk Live 2.
Jay says 171.
Jay said 171. Bobby's wrong.
It wouldn't be a Card Talk episode without the producers not 100% fact checking something and being, kind of wishy-washy about the answer.
Not like we were prepared for this moment, right?
Yeah, it's not like we knew this was coming for multiple weeks and try to set up
multiple weeks.
But Season 4, this is going to be the Season 4 recap. Going into the new year, we do not currently have plans to record more episodes of Card Talk. It is bittersweet. Life happens, life occurs. There are multiple different reasons why we go into the new year without plans as to recording more episodes. I'd be hard-pressed to believe we go through the entire year of 2024 without the three of us getting together, forming like Voltron and making some things happen, as well as, accompanied by the great Jay, Courtney, Bobby, and others, if you will. Shout out Judy. Shout out Matt. Shout out the coffee bean grinder or whatever the heck that thing was.
That's top 5 episodes. Top 5 moment for sure.
Yeah, it is a top 5 moment. I was thinking, we were peak COVID when this thing kicked off, right?
Peak.
Like I was in my
parents'
I was in my bedroom at my parents' crib with the water stain, but it's not a water stain. It's more of a paint circle.
The little stars.
The stars, yeah.
Yeah, the stars on the ceiling at the little desk. That was crazy. I forgot about that. That's old school.
It was very 2003.
Yeah, we were back in action.
Was that like Merry Christmas, Harry? Was that like
it's Happy Christmas?
Yeah, Happy Christmas.
It's Happy Christmas. All right. A lot of things have happened. Lorcana, Marvel, Net Pro.
I got a kid.
Ryan had a kid. Engaged. Lou got engaged.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
I know, crazy.
Wow. Ryan had a kid is right. Jay got married. Courtney moved.
Yeah, across
the country. Bobby went to college and graduated. Bobby was in 8th grade when we started this show. What else happened? Pokemon.
Let's do our sorry, finish what you were gonna say.
That's what's on my mind.
Okay.
That's what's on my mind. All those things. We can keep going, but this will very likely, for the time being, be the final recording. Card Talk, as you know,
Lou's your mic off.
Hiatus. And that's what I got. What'd you say?
Is Lou's mic off?
Is it? No, it's not. It's the thing where So what's
It's a
happening
new
for everyone?
production. So
Yeah, a little behind the
final
scenes
episode,
for
we
everyone
wanted to
today.
test a little something.
I have a microphone that's recording local audio on my end that'll be inserted into the episode. But while we're recording, I'm talking into the same microphone as Tyler. To be honest, seems like one of these situations where there's going to be overlapping audio. But I believe in Jay and Court and Robert to figure it out. So what's on my mind? With all this in mind, and it being the last episode for now, and there's some interest. You were just talking about all the random things. What's like your most random thing that we spent time talking about on a week-to-week basis on the show? Because I think if it's not pickleball cards, I don't know what it is.
No, it's not pickleball cards for me. I mean, pickleball cards. Yeah, I don't know. That's Jay. That was Jay trying to stop.
No.
What? That's me? I was the pickleball card guy.
Right?
I was the Carlitos Alcaraz guy.
You were more pickleball, and I will say your pickleball run was like as short as the pickleball run was. Like you were very short. You were very short on that, and then you got off very quickly. But like you had a moment, a very quick moment.
Behind the clip. Show me the clip of me talking.
Now I feel like I gotta find it. Now, like I gotta prove a point. Like,
there's not a moment that I was.
No, there is.
I would say you were an enthusiast of the sport.
Never the cards.
That's fine.
By the time the cards came, I was like, yeah, I just want to play tennis.
That's
Ty,
fair.
you definitely were the person that informed this group on Annalee Waters.
Undeniable
listen,
fact.
If you want to give me that, I'll take that. I thought
like
Jay
that was you that brought it up.
Give.
We didn't bring it up. Jay wasn't like Jay doesn't have a mic. He doesn't talk. Like it wasn't Jay telling us about it. It was definitely you.
Jay jumps in like it's his job. You know, like when he
Whoa!
All right, this is not about attacking Jay. I was just trying to say what was the most random thing we discussed.
I think it's more. I don't know. It'll come to me.
Okay, that's fine. I just was thinking about it on my way to work today, and pickleball just like kept like coming to the front of my mind. But there's got to be something else random that we were talking about. I think people are going to say F1, but like I still love F1.
Oh, I love F1.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I'm going to a race next. I might go to 2 races next year, right?
I'm jealous.
Like, I don't know.
Let me just do a couple other quick things on my mind. Jets are back down in the dumps.
Bro.
Disgusting, horrific,
Bro.
embarrassing effort on Sunday against the Dolphins. Zach Wilson's concussion, non-concussion, just needed to get some Gatorade situation was tough. I felt bad about that. I feel bad for him because now I'm at the point where I don't believe anything they say, like we were saying. So like, does he have a concussion? Does he not? Does he just not want to play? I kind of get it, no matter what.
Who's gonna get murdered out there?
Yeah, he got pressured on 80% of his dropbacks, Ryan. 80% of the time he was getting pressured. Jets are terrible. So that's the only other thing that's on my mind. The Astros now. The Bregman thing seems to have subsided. Now they're talking.
What?
There was rumors they were going to trade Bregman, but I don't think they're going to do that. But now the new rumors are they're going to trade Framber Valdez, who was the guy who was a legitimate Cy Young contender for the first half of the season last year.
Yankees are stacked now, right?
Yankees are stacked adjacent. They got Juan Soto and that's it. And your guy went back to sleep. So I'm
Who's
sure
my guy?
Cashman.
Meaning they made a play and then he went to bed?
Yeah, the classic Joe Douglas sign one guy and then go to bed.
Got it.
Yeah.
Checks out.
So they signed Juan Soto, and that'll be the end. But if I don't talk to people about it in the future, I will. My early take on the Astros is that they are not a serious contender for the World Series next year. So,
But the Yankees are.
no, neither of them are. But I would say the Astros are more of a contender than the Yankees.
How do you
But
feel about the Reds?
the Reds are okay, and that's all. That's all on my mind. Thank you.
Brian?
Yeah, what's on my mind? Ripped a bunch of Bowman Chrome used Sapphire yesterday. I posted a video on YouTube. I talked to you guys about that. Man, awesome. It's probably one of my favorite products all time. I enjoyed it. I mean, I ripped a ton of it. So we bought a bunch of it. I was like, I'm not sure if I'm going to break it or I'm going to, keep it or rip it. I'm like, I'm not sure. And then it came and I was, man, early. I mean, cool stuff. Hit a couple Drew Aller autos. Yikes, that guy. Not what I wanted, but hit a couple cool things. And then I hit two straight cases, hit 2 Kyle McCord autos and was like, yikes. I wish one of these was an orange refractor. It might be a new team color. Terrible.
Yeah, right.
ACC
Yeah, I was having wait, 0 days
Just
since
the
last
picture.
incident. Oh, wait, Ty, you just froze hardcore.
It didn't want me to deliver what I was saying.
What were you gonna
How
say?
does it feel that your quarterback that you went through like 15 weeks of believing was the guy
Yeah.
is going to be starting at Syracuse next year?
Yeah, I mean that's for sure. I definitely had this conversation. This was a real life epiphany I happened, just the life of Ryan this week. It was, damn, our quarterback in 2023, he's gonna start at Syracuse. We had a Syracuse level quarterback on our team. Like, that's not, I mean, yikes, that's not good. And then everybody's like, thank God, Kyle McCord left. He's gone. Thank goodness. And it's like, oh, what's better than Kyle McCord? The guy that couldn't beat Kyle McCord. That's the leader program. Like,
Yeah.
hold on.
Goes to show how good the rest of the team was, I think.
And do you think maybe your head coach might have made a mistake pushing him out the door before the season could even finish?
Dude, a lot of the, local media that I'm friends with that covers the team, like there's been some rough takes on Ryan Day and the old Columbus
It's
town.
starting to turn, baby.
Ohio State's got signing day come up, and all coaches, like, since some of the guys, one of my buddies was talking about it the other day on their podcast. And every year Ohio State does signing day, they have a press conference. They talk about, this kid's special. Austin was saying that, like, I've covered the sport for multiple decades. Like, at Wyoming, they had a press conference and they would show tape on kids, show what you're getting. Ryan Day decided to do a Zoom call for 30 minutes to talk about it.
He's hiding from your local media because he's afraid of them.
Yeah, so it's there's a couple guys on the team, like on the coaching staff, that need to let go, and they haven't made those decisions, and it's gonna. It just
Maybe
seems
some
to be
recruiting violations happening. That
Who's
we're
the
not
starting
talking
Q for the bowl game?
Devin Brown.
Don't say it so excitedly.
He couldn't beat out a guy that's going to start for Syracuse next year. Do you think I'm excited about that, Tyler?
Nope. Greg Paulus was a good Syracuse quarterback too, but
Ooh.
he spent most of his time as a Duke point guard.
I think
neither here
Greg
nor there.
Paulus was on Ohio State's basketball coaching staff for a while.
Yeah, I mean, he was a Duke basketball legend, and then Syracuse decided to take him in to play Q for a year. That's where we're at. Syracuse.
They
Yeah.
they did sign the Georgia guy who apparently was like this elite recruiter. So they might have something cooking.
They're building something.
They might be building something. They got the Ohio State quarterback. They got the Georgia wide receiver coach. It's happening.
Yeah, we'll see. So, yeah, what's on my mind is, as we end Card Talk and we wrap it up, it's, had some of the best Ohio State teams I ever got to witness. I saw Chase Young and CJ Stroud and Justin Fields and Chris Olave and J.K. Dobbins and Jackson Smith and Jigba and Marvin Harrison, and the list goes on. And we have one Big Ten title in 3 or 4 years. We have 0 national championship wins, and we have 1 playoff win. And I'm like, oh, sadness. Sadness.
Yeah.
Chase Young was a dog. I was scared of Chase Young.
Yeah, top 5 favorite Buckeye of mine for sure.
Chase Young was
Really?
a dog, bro. He
Who's
was
your top
Young.
5?
scary.
Donnie Nicky, Braxton Miller, JT Barrett, Chase Young. Those are the easy 4. Like, those are the 4 you
Yeah.
couldn't convince me anywhere else.
What about Maserati?
Yeah, Marv is definitely up there just because it's more recent. Like, everybody always says, like, Archie Griffin and Eddie George, and I'm like, dude, I was in diapers when Eddie George played. Like, I didn't get to see Eddie, so, like, I love him. Like, it's cool to collect his cards. He's got a great signature. Archie Griffin won a 2-time Heisman, but
Yeah, that is.
so it's, for me, you go down the list of other guys. Like, I loved JK. He was fun. Like, always loved I loved him. Like, I liked Malik Hooker a lot. Like, Malik Hooker I thought was going to be awesome. Like, plays for the Cowboys and got a
We had
second
many
contract.
arguments about Malik Hooker.
Marv, great. I loved Jackson. Like, CJ was fun. But, like, again, I could talk about it a lot. Like, cheating or not.
Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson was great. Like, that catch against Clemson. Like, I tweeted about it. I showed that tweet a lot. Like,
What about James Laurinaitis stuff?
yeah, 3-time consensus All-American. It doesn't happen a lot in college football. Like, great. Like, awesome.
God is a beast.
He's got
There's
this kid has a weird memory with Ohio State stuff.
It matters.
Yeah, I know it. I love it. You guys know that. Like, I care about it so much. It's a big
But I
part
can't do that with anything.
I can't also, by the way, like I really
He
can't.
can
Like
just
people
pull
hit me
stats
with
off his
like
head.
it's so bad
Crazy.
because I'm like a huge Penn State fan, and they're like, "Who's the starting left tackle?" I'm like, but Tom Ali, Navarro Bowman.
Yeah, that's that's the thing I like is, like, we never got to do it, but, like, find a card from like 2008 limited or 2009 SP Authentic and show me a sample of the card, and I'm like, I can tell you what it is. Like I live it, I breathe it, I love it so much. So
How
it's
do
like,
you not
that
do that?
memory stuff.
yeah, like the memory,
You
like
get that
2000,
memory.
like I ripped the box of 2006 Press Pass the other day, and we were talking about it, and it's like D'Amico Ryans and Mario Williams and Michael Robinson, Penn State legend, and Jason Avant. Like you
94?
could, what'd you say?
Just like games, even like the scores of games. Like,
Yeah, I'm not that crazy. I can't get that. That's not me. Like
Hmm.
I like the where did the guy go to college, and where were they drafted? Like I like those things. So, but yeah, in terms of like the card talk thing, it's it's crazy. It's like you said, what's happened. It seems like it was literally yesterday. I was going through old photos, and it's we met at the National in August of 2019, and I was a year, not even a year into quitting my job. Like wasn't sure what I was gonna do. I had just started a card shop, and it's kind of crazy looking back on it because it's um, you know, uh, dude, I've told this story a few times on here, but it's, I worked a job I really didn't enjoy doing data entry at a community college, like for grant work. Like, sat at a computer, I had two monitors up. One was work, and one was Gary V vlogs. And I sat there and I watched a million daily V's. I mean, a million. So it's like, I saw Lou and I saw Ty and I saw D Rock, and like I watched it. It was a big part of my life. And then it's like, Gary talked a lot about like auditing your time and like can't complain if you're not willing to change it. Like, and I took that to heart so much, and it's crazy because I know those videos had a huge impact on like the decisions I made in life, and the fact that we ended up getting on a podcast together after meeting at the National, and spending 4 years of my life as a lot of things have happened in 4 years, and in life and in business and in the world. It's just kind of crazy, how things worked out. So, like you said, I'm not sure what the future holds. I think the chances of us getting together in 2024 at some point are pretty high. You tell me we're going to be in New York, and it's not more than 90 minutes, so can certainly be there. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy that this might be the last one we ever do, but man, it is been a lot of different iterations of this show. We've done a lot of different things. We started with Stump the Shop. We did that.
Yep.
Play of the Week. We've done all these different things, and
I was on that, like, let's just pull up eBay and go through it for a little bit. Vibe. We used to do that.
Yeah. Guys, like, yeah, I get on eBay and I just search PSA 10, and we would look at PSA 10s and Clyde Edwards-Helaire Donruss and Zion PSA 10 Prisms sold for
Clyde
900.
Edwards-Helaire moment was pretty electric. NBA
Yeah.
Bubble.
$50
NBA Bubble
Don-
was pretty electric.
$50 paper Donruss Clyde Edwards-Helaire is one of the dumbest things I've ever thought about.
NBA Bubble, looking back on it, was pretty electric. MPJ was pretty electric. Ryan, I got to say, it just really smashed me in the face that when we first met, you were within a year of quitting your job. And while it's been a long time since then, 3.5 years, it's also relatively gone by pretty quick. And to
Sure.
know what you've built pretty much as a brand, I mean, I'm not privy to how much you were like really putting into content when you were still at your job / even in that August, but the audience that you've amassed, the shop you've moved into a second shop, the business that you've built is like crazy. And I just want to give you some love and hats off on that, because I think it's cool to like really for people to see it. And in a not that sports cards aren't anything, but there's 50 things alike sports cards that maybe people don't realize that you can actually go and build something and have a physical presence and an online brand that connects with people all around the world that can come back to retail around something that you love. I think it's pretty commendable and sweet, and just like it really just clicked with me that it was only you were working a 9-to-5 job 4.5 years ago, and now here you are with, to my understanding, didn't grow up with a background or interest in making content and producing videos and editing videos and all that jazz. So that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I certainly appreciate the love, right? You know, you guys have been a huge part of the journey. I mean, Card Talk is a big part of, who I am and you know, what what I like to do. Um yeah, it's funny. I never sought out to be a, content creator. I told myself if I can find a way to make $50,000 a year in sports cards, I would be way happier than I was, and life would be a lot better. And so I saw some people making YouTube videos, and I was like, I got an iPhone, I could upload these. Like, I think I could do this. Like, I know cards pretty well. I'm like, I could show people what I buy and my mail days. Like, I buy a bunch. Like, there's got to be something I could make content on. And yeah, it's kind of crazy, how life works, and one thing led to another. So yeah, appreciate it. But yeah, definitely fun ride, and it's kind of crazy. It's if we never record another episode of Card Talk ever again, I doubt that ever happens. Even if we don't call it Card Talk, it's whatever that looks like. It's kind of crazy. It feels like it's been a lifetime to know that it's only been 4 years, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So. All right. Well, we still have a season 4 to wrap up here, and I think we're all looking forward to this. I know Jay's got a lot of things planned, so we'll get into this and see what really happened in season 4. I know Jay, Court, and Bobby have been putting some effort into this, so I think we're excited to see what this one looks like.
Yeah, let's get
Jay,
to it.
Boys.
Huzzah.
So before I get started on this, I did want to chip in a quick, not getting too deep, but quick 2-minute kind of reflection on Card Talk, because look, Tyler hired me early pandemic, and it was dark times. It was in a kind of a dark place at that point because everything was all shut down. The world was shut down. My businesses were shut down. And Tyler brought me aboard on 1:37 p.m. and it really helped pick up, some positivity and get life headed back in the right direction. And then about a couple weeks into working at 1:37 p.m., Tyler had a heart to heart with me and was like, look, I know that you know about cards. You need to get up to speed and get professional level on cards, because if you're going to make an impact in this company right now, sports cards are the hottest thing in the world. I want you to produce our podcast, and I want you going heavy on sports cards and collectibles. And, as I was pulling the clips last night and the night before and going through all these moments, it makes you reflect on the 4 years and, how special it's been. One of the honors of my professional career to produce this podcast. It's just been so much fun. You guys have become some of my best friends. You were at my wedding, a couple weeks ago. And, it's just, ripping cards at my table with my wife, my new wife. And, Ryan brought that box. That was, a card memory I'll never forget, for the rest of my life. So, I just want to thank you guys for having me, along for the ride. 171 studio episodes, 15 in-person episodes, the wrap-ups after, each day of the National, the trade nights at Bleecker, it just goes on and on. Just memories for, to last a lifetime. So you guys are awesome. And it was just the most fun thing probably I've done in my career. So I appreciate you guys for that.
We love you, Jay.
And thank you, Bill.
Yeah,
Love you guys too.
It's been a good ride. Trips to Dallas.
Oh,
Dallas shows. Early Dallas shows, man. Just flying out mid-pandemic wearing masks the whole time. Oh my God.
That was the weirdest thing we can curse on the last episode.
Yeah.
That was the weirdest of my life. If you
COVID?
think about it, no, flying to Dallas 3 months, well, COVID for sure, but 3 months into COVID, being actually, let's just go to Dallas for a week and just kind of throw out everything that we were doing at home. Literally, all the rules were out the window, for being honest.
We'll just forget about him.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's no big deal. Literally, it was crazy.
My parents wouldn't let me come over for 3 weeks, and after I got back from Dallas, they were like, "Stay away. You're going nowhere near me. You can come here once you're healthy."
I chose to self-isolate from my family so I can go to Dallas for a card show.
to pay thousands of dollars for a Luca Silver PSA 10.
Yeah, $8,000.
The first Dallas recording, I'll forever remember. Over at the table.
Yeah.
Masks on.
Mask on in the recording.
I was showing some cards.
Which one was that? Was that in the restaurant or in the back of the room?
Back of
the room. But the restaurant recording is iconic too.
No, the restaurant recording is the one we were fine. It was one on the showroom floor where we had the mask.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Well, anyway, let's reminisce about this season because there are some crazy moments this season. Our first episode back for 2023, early January, football playoffs were about to start, and you guys, looking at this in retrospect, one of the things that had me laughing the most was, you guys were breaking down this new quarterback that was on the scene and wondering what his future held, and seeing what he did this year in the NFL. And that he's currently probably an MVP candidate. Watching this take is insane.
Sports card fan and you don't necessarily have a home allegiance in the NFL, you're probably rooting for Brock Purdy to win the Super Bowl. 2022 class needs somebody with Kenny Pickett not going to the postseason. Brock Purdy leading the Niners to a Super Bowl would certainly be nice.
Do you think it's possible that Brock Purdy wins the Super Bowl and doesn't start next year?
Yes.
Very possible.
Mhm.
I would say likely if that's what happens.
Oh,
They'd
like-
probably trade him.
Yeah, I mean he becomes an asset.
Good take.
As a backup somewhere.
He would start for somebody. Listen, look, I'm going to be very clear. If he wins the Super Bowl, I could get behind it. I'm just going to tell you.
If he won the Super Bowl, you'd want him starting for the New York Jets?
I wouldn't be against it. I'll say that.
Let's go.
I was so out on that, man.
I'll say this. I think during the life of this show, the three of us have gone through like progression and how we think about athletes and sports a lot too. Like I feel obviously it's easy to say now, but I feel way differently about how I think about Brock Purdy. And even like, it's why I'm more open to things like DeVito and like silly like that, because in the right situation with the right coach, these things can work themselves out. And like Brian Daboll, known as a guy who can work out, you know what I mean? Like the DeVito thing obviously isn't going to work, but I'm way more open-minded to the random prospects popping off in like today's NFL, especially than I used to be, I would say 2 years ago.
You mean like the Tom Brady story in modern day football?
It seems more possible than it did before.
I mean, look what Joe Flacco's doing with one of the top 5 teams in the NFL. The Browns are good. They're 9-5. Right?
Case
I mean,
Keenum wins games for the Texans. Like
look at the
Zach
Colts
Wilson
record.
won a few games for the Jets. Like the backups can succeed now.
I think the Colts are a 7 seed right now with Gardner Minshew and Jonathan Taylor not playing. The Browns are missing 21 or 22% of their opening day roster due to an injury. Right? They don't have Deshaun Watson, the guy they're paying millions of dollars to. Chubb's out. Like their line's decimated. And they're one of the best teams in the NFL.
Coach of the year, right?
Stefanski's up there. There was somebody I was thinking about the other day that I think is going to end up winning it.
It should be Kyle. It should be Shanahan every year until further notice.
No, there was somebody. I think there's a really, really likely one.
D'Amico Ryans, maybe?
Ryans could be in there, but no, hold on. Let me look up NFL standings.
Mike McDaniel?
McDaniel could be up there. Do you think they would give it to Harbaugh?
No.
I think.
I was gonna say McCarthy before this weekend. I would have said McCarthy.
Dallas is just frauds again.
Yeah, they're trash.
Let's be real.
I mean, we say this every week though. Like we've been doing this all year. Like we thought the Niners were a fraud. We thought the Eagles were a fraud. We thought the Dolphins were a fraud. We thought we think every team's a fraud. Like, somebody's got to win a Super Bowl. Like somebody has to do it.
Baltimore.
The Christmas night game is legit, bro.
That is going to be a crazy game. It's Niners, Ravens at Niners. Monday Night Football.
Christmas
night.
On Christmas night?
Christmas night, bro. The
8:30
8:30 Christmas night game. Ravens, Niners.
It's kind of like the sickest game in a long time.
All right. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's a monstrous game.
Yeah.
Can we get Coach of the Year odds? Bobby, can you pull those up real quick? Let's get the next one.
All right, Jay.
All right, so for the next one, this was what was considered pretty much if you consider the comments and the amount of like craziness that ensued when we put this clip out, I would say this might have been the hottest take in the history of Card Talk. It was the following episode after the Brock Purdy, that we just had, where a name was born, and
Were we just shooting from the hip or what?
No, this is mid-bird, bro.
This is mid-bird.
Definition of mid.
Sucks. He's like the floor of what you hope you get when you draft a quarterback.
I don't know. They need some things. I don't love their head coach, but I think I like Burrow more, obviously. and I don't think he's Mahomes, and I'd rather have T-Law, but I don't think he's mid. He's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL.
I don't know. It's the constant argument of you have Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, Gerald Everett. Like
Joey Bosa, Derwin James.
it helps his life tremendously, but also their offensive line's been pretty questionable. So I don't know. I like Herbert, but I get worried about his upside.
It's just because he can throw the ball well that people like.
That matters. That Jim tends to do a lot of things.
Big part of the puzzle for a quarterback.
Yeah.
All right, so
Justin
what I want to
Herbert.
do really quickly is just read you guys a couple of the comments that came out of this post. It's pretty funny. So they'll just give anyone a podcast nowadays.
That's true.
They will.
Anyone can make one.
You know, they just go on and on. There was 450 comments on this post of people saying,
Read
"No,
a
it's crazy.
couple. Let's go.
Herbert is a
Yeah,
top
pull a
3
couple.
quarterback."
Pull the meanest ones you can find.
Okay, I'll let you guys talk it out, and I'll pull some mean ones
Okay.
for you.
I will say that might have been the most correct we ever were. That guy stinks. He is the most middle of the road guy you've ever seen in your entire life. And this whole thing last week where he was out and they lost by 100 and it like proves that he's good. That's not true at all. They lost because he also couldn't get them over the hump. He will continue to not get them over the hump when he comes back next year. And until he's on either in a different situation where he's going to have a new head coach, it might be Belichick, which would be interesting. I just don't buy into that guy at all. And same thing with T-Law, your other guy.
No,
Here's 5 comments in a
can't
row.
convince me that.
Here's 5 comments in a row. Card Talk knows zero ball. Bro,
Wrong.
what? Garbage opinions. This
Wrong.
is pathetic. A lazy take.
You're pathetic.
I'm a Saints fan and can happily say y'all don't know football at all. Herbert, top 5 quarterback.
Hope Derek Carr's been going well for you.
That's a lot.
Oh, man, it just goes on for days. But we can move on from that. But I think that, you guys for sure, I think that, like, if we were doing wins and losses, Lou, I got to give you a win on that one.
I've had my fair share of losses. That's okay. We'll get to those, I'm sure.
All right. Well,
I think the wildest take we've ever had on Card Talk is Lou saying Ohtani was flash in the pan.
100%. I think it has to be 100%.
That is the number one craziest take. And we've had some crazy takes. I mean, Ty literally said Annalie Waters was a thing, but like outside of pickleball cards, like in some of the crazy things Ty told us about, like we all said Ohtani being flash in the pan. That guy.
No. We did not all say that. We did not all say that. I was vehemently on the other side.
Lou said
Tyler,
that.
a big baseball fan. He was pretty locked into Ohtani. He knew early.
That was
I'm
a big one,
surprised-
and then Judge hitting 63 home runs and being like something that didn't really matter. Like, congrats for hitting the most baseballs ever in AL3.
Does
Like,
anyone care about that? Does anyone care about that?
see, like those are some of my favorite takes. That was probably the best take we ever had. But Jay can.
Tyler doesn't even care about that now.
Judge hasn't won a thing.
Correct.
I'm surprised that Tyler's getting all this crap about pickleball cards when I'm the one who was making pickleball videos and running pickle
There's
juice.
no clip. Find the clip of me.
But you
pushing
were the pickleball
cards.
guy.
Yeah.
Originally.
You have to admit
It's like
that
AL dub. Like what you want? Like,
you opened the door for Jay to burst right through it with his cards.
by telling everyone on this podcast about Carlos Alcaraz when no one knew who he was.
That's true. You nailed that one.
100%.
I've long given you support and respect for
Transitioned
that.
into pickleball from tennis.
Next.
Jay, what's next?
All right, so here's another quarterback that Lou does not like, and this is after they lost in last year's playoffs.
State of the world
I know
about
this,
Josh
the
Allen.
Buffalo
Bills.
It's always been the same thing. He's a turnover machine. Like he leads the league in turnovers in the last 5 years. Since he's been in the league, he is the league leader in turnovers. He fumbles the ball like crazy. He just throws the ball up. He did it on Sunday. At the end of the game, they were still in the game, and he just threw the ball for no reason and threw an interception, and the game was over. It's how he's always been. When he had Daboll, obviously, I think Daboll's an offensive genius, and they were scheming things up, and it was working a lot better. Once you take that away, you see how Diggs reacted. Diggs has been quiet as a mouse ever since he got there. Out of nowhere in this playoff run, he started to get more upset, and it's not up to the standard. The coaches, he's talking to the coaches now. Like, it's just very strange to me. And in general, with the Josh Allen stuff, I think it's a lot like Herbert, where everyone was told that those two guys were the guys that were going to be the big stars of the league going forward. And then any kind of negative conversation that goes their way gets shut off because They throw a lot of touchdowns. They throw for a lot of yards, and they're really cool. So everyone likes them. I've never understood it. I still don't think Josh Allen is very good. I have no fear of that guy. I had no fear of him all season long. They were clearly a flawed team. And next year, they're going to come back again. They're going to add 1 or 2 guys. They're going to add a defensive lineman. They're going to get a good running back. They'll try to sign Saquon or something like that. And then they'll be the Super Bowl favorites again. And then they'll lose in the first or second round again. That's just how it's going to be because Josh Allen is not good enough, and he never has been good enough.
Wow, I'm really smart.
Don't know.
It's kind of crazy, guys.
He said, I'm really smart.
Ryan, I think from that moment, at that point in time, I think the world at large was very pro Josh Allen. That's changed dramatically, I think. And
But I feel like he's back.
he's kind of making his way back. He had 95 yards passing on Sunday, and everyone's like, "Oh, the Bills are back." But I would stick pretty firm that they'll be out in the first or second round if they make it to the playoffs at all this year. Because they got to go. They're probably gonna have to go to Baltimore if they make the playoffs, right? Yeah, they're not beating Baltimore in Baltimore. No way.
I don't know. The Bills are the one team I look at. I'm just like, they could be the best. They could be the best team in the league, or they could lose in the first round. Like, if the Bills won the Super Bowl, I would not sit here and be like, "Wow, the Bills, they won the Super Bowl. Oh my gosh,
The
really?
Bills are going to go to Baltimore and beat Baltimore. They're going to go to Miami and beat Miami. They're going to play in the Super Bowl against the Niners, the Cowboys, who they just beat, so I can give you that one, or the Eagles, who also kind of stink. They got to beat the Niners in the Super Bowl. No chance.
I think they. I mean, it's not impossible. Like, this is the year. There's not a team I look at and be like, they're a lock. Like, anybody could win it.
It's
like the Browns beat.
It's been in a while.
Yeah, like the Browns are gonna have to go to. The Browns are gonna have to go to Jacksonville and win in Jacksonville with that Brown. They just beat the Jags. Like, anybody could win it. Like,
Tua could get a chip.
That is what I think I'll miss most about Card Talk in January is no playoff chatter because one of these guys is gonna lose. Lose takes would be iconic.
One of them. Most of them are gonna lose.
Well, facts. Everybody but one.
Do you guys think if Deshaun comes back healthy in the playoffs, they're going to play him, or you think you're going to stick with Joe Flacco?
Flacco.
I wouldn't be stunned if that guy never played again.
I mean, I don't know about play again, but for the Browns, yeah. That's an all-time bad deal. But anyways, we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so moving on, we had our 137th episode this season.
Wow.
And we had a lot of fun with it. We had a trade night in New York, and we had an in-person recording at the office. And during the in-person recording at the office, we got a question from one of our followers that was an iconic moment from this season.
This is a
It's a
babysitter
babysitter for CC3, and the only options are Lou, Tyler, or Jay. Who is he picking?
My first thought that comes to mind is Tyler.
Okay.
He manages a lot of people,
Yep.
like a lot of responsibility, like
agree.
understands the importance of responsibility.
Smart choice.
The first choice. But if like Reg and I are in a hurry to go somewhere, Tyler might not be on time.
I completely understand that.
And like you have to have reliability in a babysitter.
I couldn't agree more.
So like that is there.
Right.
You're not much of a sleeper, so I think
Nope.
you would be wired and could like stay up through
100%.
that. Lose a strong choice for it.
No consideration of Jay.
No, I'm getting to Jay.
Okay,
Jay would be next.
Great.
And then I'm getting to Jay and I'm like, well, we have a segment on Card Talk that says 0 days since last incident.
Can't have a lot of mistakes with a baby.
Can't have a lot of mistakes with the baby. So like I think the first person we're ruling out is Jay. Like just because like 0 mistakes since last incident.
Come home from the night. Jay be like, it went great. He'd leave.
Best babysitting
and then
night
just be
ever.
like a huge dookie in the bed. Just like,
Spread across the floor.
like, I thought it went great.
I can't wait until Ryan takes the kid to Disney World, hits me up because he wants a little night out with Reg and wants me to come babysit because I'm the only one of us in Florida.
We're flying Lou down.
I have to get out of here.
The only one. And I'm like, sorry, bro. I'm reliable. I can't make it. I can't be trusted.
So my question to you, Rye, are your choices still the same? After coming down to the wedding, seeing me with my godson and all that good stuff, family.
That kid's like in high school, Jay.
He's not in high school. That kid's 8.
Yeah,
he pulled me to the side and said, I've trauma from the last time Jay babysat me.
Yeah, I'm not sure my answer would have changed in 12 months. It's Lou. I think Lou is still our winner here. I'm not sure anything would have changed.
Thank you.
Cool.
I appreciate it.
All right. Well, at that same recording, we found out that Ryan, you were going to have a card, your first card, Topps card in Big League Baseball, and so you talked about that. And I want to get your thoughts on how that all worked out after.
Says, how does Ryan feel about getting a card in the new Top set? There was one picture.
Did you submit it, or were they like?
Yeah, no. Brian, I took it.
Specific.
Oh, it was a fresh
Yeah.
photo just for this.
Yeah, you wear a Topps jersey.
Topps jersey.
Yeah, it's going in.
A lot of inside info being given out here.
Yeah,
so
it's going in big league baseball.
or were you like in a batting cage? You should have done like action.
I'm in the
shots.
shop, just standing.
You should have done action shots like at a batting cage.
Like something you do in like your 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should have went Jeter backhand.
Yeah, the backhand shot.
Jeter
they would've
all in
been
position,
fundamental,
all-time Yankee.
All-time
base-
overrated Yankee.
Yeah, card's cool. It's in a.
So it comes out on Friday.
Big
You-
league baseball.
You selling some in the shop?
Yep.
We can-
Autos?
Autos didn't make it.
So tell me a little bit about the experience of having a card, a Topps card coming out of packs.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's also what'd you say?
I forgot all about this.
Yeah. So it's fun. It's also fun to see people that have no idea who you are pull one and just be livid. Just be so upset.
Who the hell is this?
Just
Remember the time we got a
rot.
cease and desist?
So yeah, super cool. I'm so grateful Topps put me in that. It's been a lot of fun. I've got quite a few in the mail. I've been able to sign and return to people and write back. So yeah, it's
How about
really
Allen and Ginter? Did they send that one too?
no, I don't have any. I wasn't an Allen Ginter. Didn't get that one.
Me either. I wasn't never an alligator either. I would just say, just a quick update on the sales. December 3rd, $65. November 28th, $65. November 25th, $65. November 12th, $50. I mean, this is an expensive card.
Is that
Ryan.
the base?
Yeah.
Wow.
What's an SSP?
I actually
It's
haven't looked.
rare and it's expensive.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think early on we kind of figured out that I don't enjoy the word, but influencer. Those were 1 per case, and there's 5 in the set, so that would theoretically make it around 1 in 100 boxes because they're 20 box cases. So if you get 1 per case and there's 5 in the set, theoretically it would be 1 in 100. So
I need to get one and get it graded.
Yeah, I think I should too. That's probably a good idea.
I'll send you one.
What's in that recent eBay search history you got there? Go back for 1 second.
Everything.
Go back for me.
Harry
No,
Potter,
go back.
pickleball cards,
Definitely in there.
Go back. Go back. a page.
Charizard.
There you go. Scroll down for me. Tyler's recently viewed items: Chris Kreider 1 of 1, V-Friends Series 2, Lena Headley, Game of Thrones, Kevin De Bruyne, Panini Prism World Cup, and then a Robin Hood Lorcana. This kid's brain is crazy.
All right, so in that last clip, we got a little taste of Lou talking about Derek Jeter. Fast forward a couple, like a month, we were all at the National, and I got a chance to sit down with Derek Jeter, and I got his thoughts on what it meant for, to be tuning into a random episode of Car Talk and see Lou Janu talking trash about you.
Derek Jeter,
It's on me a little bit. Did you hear Lou's got real beef going?
Really?
I don't know. I think, Derek Jeter said, all things considered,
All things considered,
Lou Janu should look in the mirror.
probably should look in the mirror.
And I'll say this. He would never say it to my face. Never in his
It
life.
happened today.
Never in his life. Derek Jeter could use an enemy like me in his life. Come on, Car Talk, Derek. Let's have a real conversation. Let's talk about it.
Oh, that's good. All things considered. We did all things considered, sure. It's never got
me-
made in gray with the
Listen.
fuck, but
I have one.
If we ever bring back Car Talk, if we ever do another couple episodes in the future, that is the number one thing we've missed out on in 4 years is never having Derek Jeter on the podcast. He is enemy number 1 for anybody on this pod. No, Lou, there's nobody has a bigger enemy than you with Derek Jeter.
How is he my enemy?
I mean,
you
like,
identified him as an enemy.
I've conquered Derek Jeter.
He told you all things considered.
Yeah, all things considered.
Yeah, consider all things.
I've considered all things. He's one of the most overrated baseball players of all time. He was dramatically overpaid given his talent level throughout his career. His team is trash. His organization is
captain, my
trash.
captain.
I win.
He has more rings than your boys.
That's correct. He was carried to a bunch of rings by the Yankees money machine.
Of all the things in card talk, I think Ryan's favorite of all time is when Lou gets to go on one of his anti-New York.
He loves that.
He loves
Those are my
nothing more than
favorite.
that.
I'll say this. The other thing is like the prime Astros years we're doing this show. In 20, 30 years, I'll be thinking about these prime Astro years. And it'll be during the times where I had Tyler and the Yankees as a punching bag for 4 straight years.
The best is when like it's like May and the season's hot and there's a lot of buzz and excitement about the Yankees and Tyler like is a real Yankees fan for those 6 weeks, and
6
then
days.
Lou just lets him have it, and then Lou hits him with the famous line he hits him with every year where it's like, well, let's talk in October, and then we get to October and Ty's like, yeah, Jets football and Penn State, like Penn State's got some big games coming up. Then Penn State loses those games. The Jets are out of playoffs, and it's like the Rangers. It's the Rangers' year.
I don't want to hear none of this.
All right, so we have a play of the week winners private chat. We've had that going for years now.
Yes.
And included in the play of the week winners chat is our special play of the week fantasy group, which actually Tyler was just talking about in his What's on Your Mind, that he beat Ryan in the playoffs. But after we drafted our teams, we all felt good about our teams and we were talking a little trash. And let's see how that all played out.
Is built to win. You got Bijan and Derrick Henry early. A top 6 QB with his number 1 weapon, Fields and DJ Moore. You got 2 solid tight ends, one of the best defenses in the league. There's no question this team is built to win. Now let me pass it to somebody you would not want to take any fantasy or negotiating advice from.
We got Ryan Johnson's special 2 Ohio State wide receivers, Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. Garrett Wilson catching passes from Aaron Rodgers. What could possibly go wrong? DeAndre Hopkins was like stealing the draft. He's coming back for a bounce-back season with top 10 quarterback Ryan Tannehill. I'm going to pass the phone to the guy who drafted his busted PC that got traded from his favorite team this offseason.
Very simple here. I don't really feel the need to defend myself. This is a thinking man's roster. Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Tony Pollard in round 2. I simply don't know what was going on during this draft. And then there's all this talk about Elijah Moore, like, oh, he was your PC. The guy was pick number 100. He's my flex. This team right here is winning a championship this year, bottom line, with Amon-Ra St. Brown, who will be a top 3 wide receiver in fantasy football this season. I'm going to pass the phone to a guy who, you may not believe it, took a Penn State running back in the first round.
I mean, look, it's only fitting that I'm going last in this video because I will be the last person standing in this fantasy league. And yes, I did take a Penn State running back in the first round. His name's Saquon Barkley. Ever heard of him? Yeah, that Giants offense is looking fresh and ready to go. I also have Devontae Smith, DK Metcalf, Chris Godwin, Jerry Jeudy, Watson.
All right, can I just say something before we get into this conversation? I think it's time that we're honest about what happened on draft night.
What happened?
You don't
that fall asleep?
You don't recall a 3-way phone call with me, you, and Jay?
What happened?
No. I was instructed not to draft certain players.
By me?
By both of you.
What
That makes a lot of sense. There we go.
Wait, what?
Jay.
I know where you're going with this. I'm not into the whole collusion thing. So, like, if you guys are throwing information out there, it's public information, and I'm potentially going to, cash in.
What is this? I don't recall.
All I know is I was instructed not to draft Garrett Wilson because a certain somebody wanted to draft him.
Chris Olave.
Who, me?
Sorry.
Chris Olave.
Correct. I was told not to draft Chris Olave by Tyler Schmidt, and then Jay took him anyway.
Oh, because I wanted him.
Yes.
I was like, don't take the man.
He called me and told me not to take Chris Olave.
What is this? What is this? Don't take a guy thing in fantasy. That's crazy talk. You can't call shotgun on players in the middle of a fantasy draft.
That's
We're competing. You were competing against each other.
That's
and
funny.
Don't make the call.
it was mainly for the
try to
content.
persuade. Like maybe he just says okay.
Oh,
And
might
doesn't
be
take him.
next to Tyler's wins.
Amon-Ra St. Brown is a wide receiver 5 right now. Unfortunately.
Wait, hold on.
He is so
You're
good.
saying it's not a great move to call and say, "Hey, I appreciate you
It's
not
bad
draft this
form.
gentleman."
It's bad form.
It's fantasy, man. I mean, yeah, absolutely. That's like.
I'm a good guy, so I follow.
Do you think the Yankees say, "Hey, Boston, don't try to trade for Juan Soto. We'd like him."
Yes.
Yeah, and then what happens? They trade for him. And what, you never got on the offense and try to like make something happen? Like try to do a little scare tactics?
Neither
Try to,
here nor there. I don't
go,
want
like
to.
I'm your best friend until I'm not. Like leave the guy for me. Like no, like you've never like sent someone down the wrong path.
I finished dead last, so I have no room to speak. But I will. I just want to make sure that's out there because I can't go into the good night without talking that.
It's simple. It's very simple. If you just heard the story, I'm a proactive GM. And I try to throw people off the scent.
If any, I know you were the opposite.
Whoa. We've never heard the story where the one team thinks the other team's going to draft the guy, and they put the smoke and mirrors out that they're going to draft the guy just to go slide around and draft a different guy.
I didn't mean to open up Pandora's
box. And there's correlation between me on draft night trying to make plays and me being in the semifinals.
I made the playoffs in my other leagues. I don't take the week fantasy league as serious as I should. I go mainly for the content. So I'm picking Jets and Ryan's favorite players. So I can
a different league that's more money and more important. You got smoked out. Your team is subpar, and has been since the jump.
Some would say maybe when your manager or boss tells you not to draft a guy, you better not draft that guy. But
he drafted him. I did it on purpose. I knew that if I told Lou not to draft him, Jay would get fired up about drafting him and then draft him above where he should have been drafted.
Fair enough. I can't argue with you. I finished last.
Jay fell hook, line, and sinker. It's clearly obvious. That's why he's out of the playoffs.
All right. Well, here's some of my favorite clips coming up now. We have 5 or 6 left. These are some of my favorite ones. Kicking the first one off is I love preseason predictions. I always know that, when we're talking college football, there's no chance Tyler's not picking Penn State in the Final Four. There's no chance Ryan's not picking Ohio State to win it all. But we have to go through the motions every year. So this year's college football, playoff predictions, I don't even know if you guys remember, who you picked. It's fantastic.
Including them from all the awards and the playoff prediction because they're obvious. Should we just do 3 other teams and Georgia? Is that our assumption?
No, I think we got to do 4.
Interesting. I mean, clear-cut best team in the country. It's kind of interesting to be like, I wonder if they're on the same level as everybody else.
I got Georgia, Ohio State, Florida State, Penn State.
I definitely think the Big Ten's getting 2 teams in this year.
Really?
3 in the best top 6 teams in America playing the Big Ten.
Really? Yeah. Wait, Tyler, did you say Penn State?
Yeah.
Okay.
I held them to 4 just to keep hearing.
That was respectable.
I didn't want to be that big of a homer.
Obvious number 1 seed, Georgia. Then I will go Alabama.
Ooh, SEC. Wow.
I will go USC, and I will go
this one's bad too, I
Texas.
think.
No Big Ten teams.
Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson. I got 2. Clemson stinks.
So did USC.
But Ty, Florida State was not a bad pick in retrospect.
That was a good job by Ty. Does it get wiped out by Penn State, though?
You give Ty credit for getting a team that didn't make the playoffs. My guy got 0. He got none. Congrats, Ty. Congrats, he got 0. Great job.
I'm just saying.
All right.
Lou and I each get 2, and we're like, hey, Ty, great job. You called Florida State. Yeah, they didn't even make it. Great job.
They should have.
It was a good shout by Ty.
Someone was this one of you guys? Neither the best teams nor the most deserving teams made it. If it was the best teams, Georgia would be in, and if it was the most deserving, Florida State would be in.
Yes,
so neither the best teams or the most deserving teams are in the playoff.
Yeah, it's whatever ESPN says gives them the best odds for ESPN bet and the most viewership on Christmas Eve or whatever, New Year's Eve, whatever.
I don't even think that's it, because if that was the case, you would have Georgia and Ohio State in.
You get the most controversial picks, bruh.
Yeah, well, then nobody watches it. Nobody's going to watch Texas, Washington.
The dates are weird because of the whole Sunday, Monday thing.
Anyways, Jay, what's next?
Okay, so the as the college football season was about to kick off, so was the NFL season, and Lou was fired up about the Jets' 3-year odyssey we were about to partake in.
Here we
Have
go.
any thoughts on the Jets bringing in a 1,400-yard player from a year ago?
Thank you. Yes.
That
You're
guy
not going to compare Zeke to Dalvin Cook, are you?
Oh, no. That would be
good.
disrespectful. I wouldn't do that to you, Lou. But what I want to know, since Dalvin Cook is so good and Aaron Rodgers is so good, would this be one of the biggest misses all time?
Wait, run the clip back, Jay. Run the clip back.
If they do not win a Super Bowl. Run the clip again, that's you, Lou. But
Okay.
what I want to know, since Dalvin Cook is so good and Aaron Rodgers is so good, would this be one of the biggest misses all time if the Jets, who have signed all these amazing players you keep talking about, if they do not win a Super Bowl? Is this a miss?
No, I would say.
So then, what are we signing Dalvin Cook, 1,400-yard rusher? What?
Yeah, so if you would let me talk, I would tell you. This is a 3-year odyssey that we're headed out onto.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers is committed to us for 3 years. Year
Okay.
1, goal was make the playoffs. Year 2 is advance in the playoffs, and year 3 is win the Super Bowl. So if, let's say we get to the Super Bowl this year, beyond my wildest dreams, the Jets make it to the Super Bowl this year and they lose, success of a season. I'm marking it down right now. There is no such thing. The only disappointment is no playoffs.
Okay. So in
We haven't
3
been to playoffs
years,
in 11 years, Ryan.
that's a long time. Yeah.
12.
We were all different points in life then. But just to be sure, 3 years goes by. No Super Bowl. No Super Bowl
Disappointment.
win. Okay.
Disappointment.
Just wanna make sure.
100% disappointment.
Just want that locked in for sure.
Okay. I feel like I got to run these back to back, though, before we comment, because after that clip, we saw what happened. We all know what happened on the opening Monday Night Football game. That was Monday night. We record Tuesday morning. So there was less than 12 hours between when we recorded the next episode and Aaron Rodgers going out for the season.
was so tired when this episode was recording.
Lou was as sad as I've ever seen him.
Pretty over for Tyler and Lou. Today, hear why their NFL season is already in complete shambles.
I hate everything. And the Bills suck. Hang on. The Bills suck. They've sucked the entire time, and we don't get to celebrate that. For years, I've been coming on this show talking about that quarterback. He sucks. They're so overrated. We should have beat them by 3 touchdowns last night. I'm sorry. You, if you want Josh Allen card.
Maybe we go out and get Diggs. I don't know, because
Kim, he's a loser too. That celebration. What a little bitch. They suck. Them.
I was gonna say he can't be too happy with his quarterback.
Loser.
All right, Lou, you got any thoughts?
No, I have no thoughts. The NFL sucks. Everything I've been excited about from March until last night was for nothing. For absolutely nothing. Nothing matters. Pressure, sack out for the year. And that's what's on my mind.
That is probably one of my all-time favorite Card Talk clips. I mean, it would have made the season so much more fun if Mac Jones was decent, Aaron Rodgers didn't get hurt, because the streak is gonna live on, and you guys might win the next one here in a few weeks, but it's to see Aaron Rodgers get hurt in the 4th play of the game and just crush everything I looked forward to, and the Jets getting to the playoffs and then losing, or the Jets getting near the playoffs and losing the last game, some sort of anticlimactic end that I could be haha, that sucks, you guys do with Ohio State and Michigan, something very similar. And it was over on the 4th play of the game, and it was just Lou's reaction was all time, just nothing matters. Everything I've been excited for since March is for nothing. He was just so sad. It was awesome.
I was really sad, and I honestly haven't fully recovered from that morning. I'm still just as sad as I was back then. I was a believer for a minute, but I also got shaken to the point where I'm okay, I am officially over the other side of the mountain. I will never have rose-colored glasses ever again, especially when it comes to the Jets, especially when it comes to this head coach, especially when it comes to this GM. Bunch of liars, bunch of frauds. Won't fall for that again. But I think Jay and Ty, we should talk for one quick minute since it's the last episode of Card Talk. What an absolute letdown of a season. What it's insane how much of a letdown it actually is. Setting aside the Rodgers part, Saleh, complete fraud. Everything we thought about him is a complete lie. Joe Douglas, his entire job since he's been here for 5 years. I think he's 25 and 55 or something as a GM.
Yep.
And his entire job was fixing the offensive line. And we have the worst offensive line of all time. I can't believe that it was all a lie. It's crazy. It was all a lie.
The most disappointing part about this end to this is we're going to show all these fun clips and all these cool clips and all of our bad takes. But what you won't see on this slideshow is Jay telling you how much he loves Zach Wilson and how he wasn't ready to trade for somebody and how Zach Wilson was the guy. And we don't need to get
never happened. I hated Zach Wilson.
Jay. Jay,
Jay, we both had a moment, and we both had a moment post injury where we were trying to find some light. I mean, let's.
I
be
think it
honest
was
about
more. I think it was more Lou that was like off Zach Wilson because Ty was kind of like, we don't need Tannehill. We don't need it. We'll figure it out. Zach Wilson might be the guy. Like he learned from Rodgers. Like he might be sweet.
Hill.
No, you got the wrong guy,
No,
Ryan,
right,
because
yeah,
I was
Rodgers
calling
game.
all off season, but they should have cut Zach Wilson and gotten a real backup quarterback. I'm on record like that 50 million times. I hate Zach Wilson. I can't stand that kid.
I will say the number one moment, the worst moment of the entire football season, the absolute moment that could have changed everything, that is trash in a bag, was when we strip sacked Ryan's quarterback and returned it for 6 yards, and they called the most BS penalty I've ever seen in the sport of freaking football.
Are you freaking kidding me?
And I will never let that moment down.
Would it have made a difference if you would have played in the Cotton Bowl instead of like the Peach Bowl or like the non-playoff bowl? Would that have made a difference for your season?
Or have one loss and probably be going like to the playoff at 11-1.
Over a 13-0 Florida State team that you picked to go to the playoff that didn't go to the playoff that Jay
Don't go
gave you.
too far, Ty. Let's reel it in for the last
No.
episode. Let's reel it in.
We would have won the game. And then who knows what would have happened.
No.
All right, I'm gonna move on to the next clip.
Yeah, Jay, get us back on the tracks.
You know
Let's
who's
get back on
trash.
track here. We had our
Get us
20
back on the tracks. Ty, you've been saying the same. You've been
Back
singing
on
the
the
same
track.
song and dance for a decade, brother. It's been a while. It's gonna be a while. You guys stink. Stink.
So do you.
So do
So
you.
do
You
you.
stink.
You're further than we are.
Get off your
You're
high
we're
horse.
not.
further than
We beat you.
are. Yes,
We beat you every
you're
year.
further than we are. You're
We've run this
further than
podcast.
we are.
We've run this podcast
Who's
for
your
4
new
seasons,
head coach?
and Tyler has this many
Who's
wins
coming
against
in to
Michigan and
run
Ohio
your
State.
program? Nobody.
0.
Y'all are going back to the old
Boys, I
days.
gotta
All
rein this
Y'all
back
are
in.
finished.
Ty, how many
Y'all
wins?
finished.
Ty,
You don't even want to
tell
announce
the
who's
people-
signing this year.
Ty, tell
Y'all
the
are
people.
bums.
Ty,
Bro,
tell the people.
Nebraska's
Ty,
got the lead
Ty,
dog,
Ty,
y'all, all right?
tell Ty,
Y'all are going
Ty,
to the depths.
Ty,
Big
tell
old
the
bums.
Ty,
That's
tell
all I
the
gotta
people.
say. Your
Ty,
time
Lou, I
has
need your help
come.
here.
Ty,
You ain't
Ty,
won
Ty,
nothing.
you just
Y'all
might.
ain't- Your quarterback is playing for Syracuse, bro.
Ty, how many wins do you have since we started Card Talk against Michigan or Ohio State? Just answer the question. That's all I want to know.
Y'all lost 3 years in a row to the team that you're supposed to be beating.
Can't win. Can't answer the question.
Okay, we don't beat you, but we end up in the same place. You're playing on December 29th, bro. We're playing on December 30th.
That's my birthday. Shout out to December 29th. Ty, how many times have you been to the
Yeah,
playoffs since
the
Card
furthest
Talk started?
before you play New Year's is worse, bro.
How many
We're
playoff
on the
times have you been
30th. You're on the 29th.
They don't call you points at Penn State for nothing. Remember, you've
We're on
never
the
been in the
30th.
playoffs.
You're on
You
the
stink.
29th, bro.
You stink.
Points at a
Bro, you're playing on
Jay,
Thursday.
figure it out. Jay, figure it out. Figure it out.
I'm trying my best here. Guys, we got to rein it in. So this is really funny. Ryan, you're going to get your chance to make fun of Ty on this one because in our 2023 NFL prediction episode, Tyler drops what could be, I can't believe that we don't give him shit about this. He dropped the worst Super Bowl prediction in the history of this show. Like he's had the Ryan Tannehill MVP prediction, and we give him a lot of crap for that, but this is infinitely worse.
This one's bad.
Super Bowl matchup and winner
This is crazy.
Jets Giants. Jets win.
Oh my gosh. Repeat. Eagles Chiefs.
Good one.
I'm not betting against Mahomes until
He's no longer in the league.
yeah, he's the safe pick every year. I'm taking the Chiefs back to back.
Super Bowl, Bengals, Eagles.
Oh, I would love that.
What do you think happens with Justin Herbert this year?
Midbert, the man himself. Yeah, I would say I have real concerns about the Chargers, and I have real concerns about the Jags too.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
The
People are
Jags,
just assuming that they're going to walk over that division, and that's just not how it works in the NFL ever.
come on,
That's a good take by Lou. I had to include that part.
on.
Lou wins
Wait,
that
say
take.
the real
Listen,
question.
2 weeks ago, the AFC NFC Player of the Week were the Jets and Giants quarterback. That's
fair
what I meant.
point. That's a
All
fair
right? That's
point.
what I meant.
Jay, give him a pat on the back for that.
That's a long way from the Super Bowl, though, man. Like, whew.
It is, but it isn't.
No,
The Jets
my
played the
favorite
Giants,
thing.
and that was one of the worst football games I've ever watched in the history of my life. Somehow we won that game, but Jesus, that game was.
That was the coldest I've ever been.
All right, what's next?
All right, for our final clip. I mean, look, this is what Card Talk is, right? Like, there's nothing worse than losing a big game as a fan of a team. But like, the only thing I can think of that's slightly worse is coming into the next recording of Card Talk when your team loses to somebody's team. In here we have rival teams that we root for. So I'm going to call this one the agony of defeat. We got two different perspectives on this one. We have Yeah,
It's gonna be me excited for Ty, and then I'm gonna get crushed.
That is making me incredibly uncomfortable, and it's just red everywhere. And even I've hated the color red for a very long time. It'd be nice to have a national championship patch on your jersey. I don't think I'll ever know how that feels outside of today. All right. Well, clearly my heart was ripped out, my hopes were dashed, and my life was ruined. Saturday, I was at a bar in Lenox, Massachusetts with about 40 people getting ready for my good homie's wedding. And everyone was there and everyone was focused and everyone was having a good time until we were all devastated. Then we carried on the wedding. It was great. We were 0-15 on third down. I don't think that's ever happened to a football team ever in the history of football. I don't really have much to say other than we'll probably get smoked by Michigan, finish the year 10-2, go to a New Year's Six Bowl, and do it all over again for the foreseeable future.
So,
Yeah.
my favorite part of that was when Tyler started talking about how nice the wedding was, but then his mind defaulted back to like, we were 0 for 20,000 on third down. Like, what kind of team? That was pretty good.
You can see with Tyler's smirk right there. It's gonna be bad. You can just tell that's a hell of a grin.
Yeah, well, this was post you guys losing to Michigan, and Lou this is the way Lou handled this situation was, it's Card Talk. This is Card Talk. This is what we should end Card Talk on if we're going to end Card Talk on something.
You're going to start, and you're going to be honest with everyone on the microphone right now, and we're going to talk about it. So you go first. What's it like to be a fraud? What's it like for everything you believe in to be a lie?
It's not good. It's not.
What's it like to have the worst head coach in the country?
Well, it's definitely not the worst head coach in the country.
The biggest loser of a head coach in the country.
Yeah, definitely not the biggest loser of a head coach in the country. For sure not. You know what's going to suck is that, there's a couple things. Like, obviously, if you beat them, like, it really sends Michigan into a dark place because what's coming next year, like, we can joke about it all you want, but, like, all of these, like, vacated wins, these loss of scholarship, these things are coming. So, like, it sucks that, this win's going to be vacated, but we couldn't get it done anyways. Like, it sucks, but, like, we got to make some changes for sure. Lou,
Head coach, perhaps? Okay,
deal.
so what's it like to know that you had the best player in the country for the last 2 years and he didn't beat your rival once? What's it like to have an entire graduating class and not defeat Michigan once?
Awful. Terrible. I have more gold pants than Marvin Harrison. Seriously.
Correct.
I
always will.
So what happens when you win? You get a pair of gold pants?
Yeah, it's some tradition that his stupid ass school has.
It's tough.
I know Lou is not ending this with some ass tradition, as we've talked many times about how college football is full of tradition and we love it and we enjoy it and we're like, yeah, some ass tradition, like something that's gone on for decades and a long time. But yeah.
It doesn't happen at Ohio State anymore. That tradition ended 3 years ago. It'll never come back.
What about the 18 before that?
Who gives a
He made a good point.
Yeah.
Right, you really have a pair of like gold pants?
So,
Yeah, they're right here.
like, tradition matters. I'm a land grant trophy guy. He's
Going
going
to
to
get
his
gold
collection. For the gold
put on the pants. Put on the gold pants, right?
Wait, is it a cut of gold pants?
To the string? Oh, those are headphones.
Oh, you get like a little gold pants.
Oh,
Those are hot, bro.
They're not really gold pants.
Yeah, they're actually it's a necklace.
Do the players get a necklace or do the players get pants?
Players get this. This is from player.
Oh, wait, why don't you have a that on a chain, bro?
I'm
I
gonna
don't
have to
wanna wear
get you a chain, right?
You don't want to wear it?
No.
That's kind of
Only if
fire.
you win for
Gets
24 hours.
displayed.
I would wear that every Saturday.
Yeah, I would be dripping out in that.
All kidding aside, Ryan, I do like to needle you about your program and your subpar program, which it is second class. But I do think Ohio State will ride again once they get rid of this loser coach. It's too good of a program. There's too much of a infrastructure set up. It's just the head coach. He's such a loser. He has to go.
Hire James Laurinaitis.
Make Hartline the head coach. He does recruiting violations. Neither here nor there.
Trust me, you don't want it. It's not gonna be Heartline. It's gonna be Ryan Day. You just gotta, we'll see. Ohio State's about to sign one of the top 2 recruiting classes in the country. Once Dylan Raiola flipped to Georgia, Ohio State was ranked number 1 in the country in recruiting classes. Like, you just got to find a way to, execute the plays. So we'll see.
Okay, fine. That's how you want to play it.
That's all.
Well, I wish everyone's team great successes.
I don't.
Yeah. The Jets, the Penn State and Indiana Lions, and roll damn Tide.
That was a good bit. Oh, also,
January.
we should probably get some closing thoughts from you on the Patriots, because this seems like it's the end of the Bill Belichick era as well.
It's gonna be interesting, right? Because I feel like in this time I'm finally starting to be like a lot like more like you guys and what your fandoms have been like for decades now. I mean, the Jets have stunk forever. Your team's never won Michigan and Penn State didn't ever win anything. Now it's my team's not winning it. It's awful, right? It's just awful. It's like, the Patriots are awful. It's so bad. There's nobody good on those teams. I mean, Ohio State's at least good. I have optimism there. Like, it might get ripped out, but I have optimism. But like the Patriots, man, they need literally just get rid of everybody and just completely redraft. Like,
I wholeheartedly agree.
They're going to get a top pick. I just, if Bill Belichick stays, we'll definitely grab, the Fashanu from Penn State. Like, that will be our first round pick. Like, he'll be great at protecting. Oh, do you say that? And Bill Belichick, like, he just doesn't know how to draft anymore. Like, I don't know who it is. It's not McDaniels. So I had always heard a rumor.
It'll be Gerard Mayo.
I had always heard a rumor. I mean, I don't think it'll happen now because the recent losses. But I had always heard a rumor that a coach for Ohio State who is from the New Hampshire area had desires to maybe end up in the NFL at a particular hometown type team. So I'm going to be interested to see what happens there.
Is he a wide receiver? Was he a wide receiver in his playing days?
No, he was a quarterbacks coach. He's currently the head coach in Columbus, Ohio. Ryan Day's from New Hampshire, and I had heard that that's where the Patriots are going to get Ryan Day. Please. No, I mean, I just heard that that's where Ryan Day would love to go at the end because that's where he's from.
I would love to win the lottery. What does that mean?
I mean, if the guy could win a national championship, he could.
What are you talking about?
We're a ways away from there, but hey, you never know. Never say never.
Fine, whatever.
But I don't know who they're going to get.
Everyone's one card that they want to hopefully collect in 2024.
The Harry Potter triple.
Nice.
It could be any card.
Sure.
You go first. Let me think for a second.
The Harry Potter triple.
That's you can't say. Oh, fine. Harry Potter triple.
All right.
No, that's not the answer.
I mean, I'm on the record, so
yeah, you are. It's that Ryan's doing this weird thing.
Ryan's gone on the record too. We've been
I've said that card a million times.
3.5 years.
Not a lot of execution happening.
Kind of grind.
This is hard, man. I would love to find. I don't know if it exists, but I haven't seen it. I need a Bregman, Altuve, Springer, triple auto from 2017 just to really wrap up my dynasty run.
I love that.
I have 2 cards. My most fun card I ever owned that I sold to help people. But I have 2 tied, so I want to say 2.
No, let him say 2. He's allowed to say 2.
Well, because one's more of a novelty card. I like that. I like that Home Alone card that's signed by Joe Pesci and Macaulay Culkin. I really want that card. I just love that movie so much. But the most fun card I ever owned by far was the Carlos Alcaraz Net Pro card because I bought that card on release, and then I got to watch him win the U.S. Open, and that was so electric. And then the card sold after the U.S. Open, and it was just, I knew every game that he won was
the match.
Do you think it's weird that didn't make it into the recap?
I was watching those matches in the middle of the
so
It's a good job, Jay. Jay is always, I'll say this for Jay. Jay is always activated on our thoughts that we didn't activate on.
Lorcana.
Yeah, Jay is definitely the best at, hey, we should make a play on this. And all of us forget and go do stuff. And Jay's like, I'm going to go make a play. And Jay is the best at it.
You know what it is? There's so much garbage running through our brains with the amount of things that we think about. Jay's number one superpower is like picking through the garbage and finding the gems.
Well, the Lorcana one seems so obvious just because of the low number of prints of those D23 cards. When you were talking about that in the group chat, I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. I'm buying it. And I was on the bus with Tyler when I was buying it, and he said he was buying it too, and then he didn't buy it. It was crazy. It was because we were buying it together on the bus on the way to the Vayner offsite. Crazy.
I recall.
Yeah. I bought a whole bunch of those Mickeys too. I still have a few.
It's been an honor, boys. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a good run. Appreciate y'all.
All the 2 years.
Ryan, I love
I'm
you.
gonna
Jay, I
miss
love
this.
you. Tyler, I love you. Listeners, I love you as well.
Shout out to
See you
listeners. Appreciate y'all.
Peace and love.
Peace, guys.
Peace.
Oh, balloon.